...2011, and our seminars this summer will be plays, Krishna conscious plays. First day, we're going to have guessing games. Devotees are going to be doing different plays, and we're going to guess what play they're doing. The second day, the devotees are going to be doing plays illustrating different philosophical aspects of Krishna consciousness. And the last few days will be shastric and preaching plays that individual groups of devotees will be putting on. So we hope to have a lot of fun this summer at the summer camp. Okay? Ready, go. Oh, very few people here. Where have all the devotees gone? Okay. You're here? You're all right? Okay.
Many devotees haven't come yet.
Oh, they're coming later.
Yeah, very good today.
Okay. This is the first day.
It's like semi-filled camp. So we filled.
Okay. I guess we'll start. Okay, is everybody ready? Actually, maybe first we'll chant a little bit. There are cards over here. Translation? No.
When you hear also.
I get to turn on my ear. Okay, we'll chant a little first and then we'll get on with the seminar. Nandini, can picture up all right? It's all right? Migraine. Jai Radhamadhoma Kunjavihari His Divine Grace of H.H.Bir Goswami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Iskan Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananda Koti Vaishnava Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Stapava Ki Jai. Friends say, oh, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Gadadha Shivasati Gaur Bhakta Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Goswami Kunda Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavanam Ki Jai. Churam Ki Jai. Navadidam Ki Jai. Jagadada Swami Ki Jai. Timunamai Ki Jai. Madhivasadev Ki Jai. Samadveda Bhakta Vrindavan Ki Jai. Glory. All glorious the assembled devotees, all glorious the assembled devotees, all glorious the assembled devotees. All glorious to Shri Guru and Govinda Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So, Om Ganat Timiranda Shah, Gananjana Shlakaya Chakshur Mirikam, Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I hope everybody is woken up after eating a big breakfast. So my seminar this year is going to be a little bit. It's going to be a little bit different than what I normally do. Sometimes in the past I've done some philosophy. Other times we've done communication seminars. But I was thinking this year I have a need for fun. If you remember my seminar on passive communication, we have all these different needs and needs for understanding. That's already been taken care of. I already understand everything. We have a need for friendship, already have enough friends. We have a need for disciples, I already have too many of those. We have a need for food and water, you already ate too much this morning. So the only need that's left to be satisfied is the need for fun. So what we're going to do is integrate in the seminar drama into the philosophy and pastimes and presentation of Krishna consciousness. So the title of the seminar is Having Fun with Krishna Conscious Drama. So I'm going to outline right now what we're going to do over the next few days. First day, of course, I'm introducing things. And after I've introduced everything, we're going to do very interesting pastimes. We're going to break out into different groups. And each group will get a little piece of paper, a secret piece of paper. And the paper will list a particular pastime that you have to mime without speaking. And the other devotees have to guess what pastime it is. That's not very fun, isn't it? And so, anyway, each group will have a different piece of paper. The next day or two, we're going to pick different philosophical topics from the Gita or the Bhagavatam. And this is not a secret thing like the first day. But each group will put on a drama illustrating that particular topic. For example, if the topic happens to be the mode of ignorance, you have to do a drama about the mode of ignorance. That should be easy. So that should be a very interesting
To
day
bi
or
trebalo
two.
biti veoma interesantan dan ili dva.
So one thing that we experience is that
Stvar koju ćemo doživjeti
when there's some emotional component or physical action
emotivne elemente ili fizičku aktivnost
that's integrated into the learning process,
koji su uključeni u proces učenja,
we remember.
onda to zapamtimo.
As you remember, some of you may remember from my previous seminar,
Se možete sjećati mojih prethodnih seminara,
that when
kada
the teacher speaks and people listen,
govori i ljudi
you
slušaju,
remember roughly about 5%.
zapamtite ugrubo oko 5%.
And after 15 minutes, it goes down to 0.5%.
To se vrati na 1%.
So then, when one practices, one remembers something like 50%.
Onda se zapamti oko 50%.
But when one teaches,
Kada neko poučava,
the remembrance can go as high as 95%.
sjećanje se može desiti do 95%.
So that's the most important, to learn how to
To je
teach.
najvažnija stvar, naučiti kako da poučava.
Each of you is going to be teaching us about the philosophy
Će nas
through dramatic
poučavati o
performance.
filozofiju kroz dramski igrokaz.
So we're going to really see the
Tako
mode
da
of
ćemo
ignorance,
zaista
passion,
vidjeti
goodness.
punu strasti, neznanja, vrline.
We're going to see
Vidjet ćemo
reincarnation.
reinkarnaciju,
There's no killing.
ali naravno nema ubistava.
And Ryan, he likes to kill people, but
Naravno, ubija ljude,
he's been watching too many Star Wars.
previše gleda Star Wars.
He's going to be a general when he grows up.
Kada poraste, bit će general.
So that should be very interesting. And then
To će biti veoma interesantno.
the final few
I
days,
onda zadnjih par dana
I'm going to be distributing
ja ću vam podijeliti
to different groups,
različitim grupama
different scripts of
različite
plays.
scenarije za igrokaze.
Actually, I'm going to distribute the plays today,
Podijelit ću
so you'll have the
igrokaze
next few
danas,
days to
tako da
practice.
imate nekoliko dana da vježbate.
And what will happen is that you're going to act out the parts
Jeste da ćete glumiti uloge
as I
kako
read
sam,
the different parts.
kako dok
So you don't
ja
have to
čitam
remember.
različite dijelove, tako da ništa morate da pametite.
You just have to remember the way the action goes,
Kako
and
se
I'll be
akcija
reading in a
odvija, a ja
dramatic
ću
fashion,
čitati na dramski način
and there'll be simultaneous
i
translation.
imat ćemo simultani prijevod.
Can everyone understand the
Jel
translation?
možete da razumijete
You
prijevod?
right? Is this working out all
Jel vam
right?
ovo funkcionira dobro?
Okay.
They're saying they cannot hear well.
Oh, they can't hear well.
Just a little bit. Ja sad u redu, sad možete da čujete bolje? It's okay now.
Okay. Okay, so to give you an idea of the stories we're going to do,
Predstavim ovu priču koju ćemo raditi.
we're going to do the story of Amoga,
O Amogi,
who is Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's son-in-law,
zet Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya,
the deliverance of Jagai and Madai.
oslobođenje Jagai i Madai.
I think we have a perfect Madai over there.
Mislimo da imamo savršenog Magaja tamo. Madai.
Trevor Crum has already volunteered to do
Vikram vas
Madai.
već dobro prijavio.
We're going to have the story of the deities of Goridas Pandit,
O božanstvu Goridas Pandita.
Lord Chaitanya's childhood pastimes,
Zabavi iz jedinstva gospodina Čaitanje.
Mugrari the hunter meets Narada Muni.
Brigari lovac poznaje Narada Munija.
Now, of course, this means seeing if we have enough time for this.
Vidjet ćemo ako budemo dovoljno vremena za ovo.
Lord Shiva and Brikasura,
Šiva i Brikasura.
Liquid Beauty.
Tečna ljepota.
The Liquid Beauty one is very
Tečna
nice
ljepota, ta igrokaz je super.
because it's a poem.
Zato što je to pjesma, poema.
I'll give you a brief
Evo
introduction.
da vam dajem kratki uvod.
So this is the man speaking, the prince who falls in love with the girl.
Ovaj princ koji je upetljan u odnos sa djevojkom.
And Amala Prem will have a copy of this so she can have a few days to translate it.
Prevodilac će dobiti unaprijed kopiju kako bi mogao fino prevesti unaprijed.
So just listen to the English right now.
Stoga sam slušati sad engleski.
It's very poetic. So the man is saying, "Oh, a handsome, strong man as I, the ladies all see me and sigh. Tonight I aspire to fulfill my desire. With the first lovely woman I spy. Oh, look, there she approaches. I will not be put off by reproaches. Oh, what a beauty is she. Now I'll let her meet me." And so, anyway, some of the things are very humorous in this play. This is Prabhupada's play. Prabhupada told us about this play. So the lady eventually says in poetry, "My dear sir, I find you quite rude and obnoxious and terribly crude. I do have my pride, now please step aside. Your entreaties are tasteless and lewd. The fact is you really admire and cannot control your desire with sincere introspection and honest reflection to true beauty within you aspire." Anyway, so I think you all know the story about liquid beauty.
Mislim da svi znate tu priču o tečnoj
So,
ljubavini,
but it's actually told in poetic form.
ali ovdje se ona govori u jednoj poetskoj formi.
And then we have the script of Dhruva Maharaj,
Imamo scenariju za priču o Dhruva Maharaju,
and then the script of
nakon toga scenariju za
Punar Mushika Baba, again become a mouse. Which one? Punar Mushika Baba, the yogi.
Punar Mushika Baba koji je postao ponovno miš.
It's not a yogi who became a mouse. It's the rat. The rat, the mouse who became a mouse again. And then if we have time, Bilba Mangal Thakur and
Onda imamo
Chintamani.
još jedan o Bilba Mangal Thakur i Chintamani.
But that's a long one. Okay. So anyone have any questions before we start today's program?
Što počnemo danas?
No? So today's program
Današnji program
will be, you're going to divide up in groups, let's say of 3 or 4,
grupice od
and I'm going to go around and give you
ja ću naokolo svima
pastime
papirić na kojem je napisana zabava
that you're going to mime.
kojim ćete vi odigrati pantomimu.
Now you can't tell anyone else what the pastime is, just to keep members of your own group.
Se zabavi radi, samo to držite unutar svoje grupe.
And the rest of us have to try to guess.
Pokušajte pogledati.
And so it's, so, you know, you can guess, I guess you could raise your hand when you're guessing.
Kad želite da pogledate, podignite ruku.
But even after you guess right, you have to continue the pastime.
Ispravno morate nastaviti sa pantomimom zabave.
Okay? Does anyone have any questions about
Da li
it?
neko ima nekih pitanja u vezi ovoga?
In this way, we'll remember Krishna's pastimes.
Zapamtit ćemo Krišninu zabavu.
Okay? Okay, so form your groups right now.
Uspostavite sad, podijelite se u grupe.
We can have up to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12 different groups.
Možemo imati 12 grupa. And as they were having the kirtan, Shivas Thakur's son died. And Shivas Thakur noticed that his wife and other ladies were crying. And Shivas Thakur said, "What are you actually crying about?" And his wife said, "Your son died." And Shivas Thakur said, "We don't want to disturb Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's kirtan. If you keep crying, I'm going to give you something really to cry about. So hold your tears. And if you keep crying, I'm going to jump in the Ganges and commit suicide." So then, all the ladies held their tears back. They held their eyes closed like that. So the tears didn't. And then at the end of the kirtan, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked what had happened. And Shivas Thakur revealed. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to where the dead body was, the boy was lying. And the boy got up and started to speak after Lord Chaitanya touched him in the heart. And the boy said, "Many, many births have I had in this material world, but now by your mercy, I've gotten your association, I've gone back to Godhead." And then Lord Chaitanya said, "From this day forward, myself and Lord Nityananda will be your son, Srivas Thakur." So that's that story. Wonderful story. That's interesting. So one time I was in an airplane flying, and there's a lady sitting next to me. And the plane was getting ready to land. And And she started putting her nails on her just like that. She took out a whole case of nails. She started gluing them on. She thought they were beautiful. So Sarpanaka approached Ram, having fallen in love with Ram. She, of course, was Ravana's sister. And Ram said, I have a wife here, and this arrangement wouldn't be so good because my wife would be envious of you. But here is my brother Lakshman, and his wife is not with him, and he's lonely. So Sarpanaka went to Lakshman. He said, Lakshman, I love you. And Lakshman said, I'm just a servant. And if you get married to me, you're just going to have to serve Ram. And that lady with the sunken belly. Because Sita Devi was known as Majjhima. That means a very thin waist. But Surpanaka, she had, do you know what a beer belly is? You know, people drink a lot of beer, they have belly like that. So Lakshman said, that if you serve and marry Ramchandra, he will soon forget that lady with the thin waist. So eventually she discovered that they were just joking with her. And she said, I will kill that Sita Devi. I will eat her. Sarira Vinjaja. Jatendriya Dehekala. She began to chant Prasad. And then Ram said, don't joke with ladies like this, it's not appropriate. And Lakshman cut off her nose and her ears. And then she went back to Ram and complained. And first of all, the story goes that Ravana went to Uncle Marich. And Marich didn't want to help her. He convinced Ravana to go back and forget about Sita Devi. But then Surpanaka put more pressure on Ravana. And at this point Ravana went back to Uncle Marich again. And he said to Marich, either you help me or I kill you. And Marich was thinking, it's better to be killed by Ram than to be killed by Ravana. So then he assumed the form of the golden deer, the story you all know. And they kept walking away, thinking, now we're going to enjoy all this jewelry. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu employed his Yogamaya potency to cause them to come back to his home. So as soon as they arrived back, Mother Sakshi and the other relatives were very happy to see Nimai. And they were ready to thank the two thieves. They didn't know they were thieves. They were going to thank the two thieves for bringing Nimai back home. But the two thieves ran away. Okay? At a place named Brahmananda Ghat. Has anyone been there? Brahmananda Ghat Braj. You were there too. So, if you go to this Ghat, Ghat of course means a bathing place on the side of a lake or a river. There's this dirt there. And if you eat the dirt, it's very sweet. Is that? You took some of that dirt? So, at that place, Krishna ate dirt. And then Balaram, he went to Mother Yashoda and said, Krishna's been eating dirt. And Krishna said,
I Krishna je rekao,
this Balaram is always trying to get me in
on
trouble.
uvijek pokušava da me uvali u nevolju.
He's lying. I don't know why he talks like
Ne
that.
znam zašto tako priča.
And Mother Yashoda said, all right, let me see. Open your mouth. And let me see if you've been
Da
eating
vidim da
dirt.
jesi jeo zemlju.
So Krishna opened his mouth, and within the mouth, Krishna could see all the universes, and even Mother Yashoda could see herself. Everything within Krishna's mouth.
Sve se nalazi unutar Krišnih usta.
What happened is that
Ono što se desilo jeste
this
da
young Brahmin boy,
taj mladi Brahman,
like the age of Narayan there,
isto kao godina Narayana,
he was chanting his japa
on je mantrao svoju čapu,
very, very nicely, and he happened
jako lijepo i desilo
to
se
see
da je
a couple
vidio par
embracing each other in the
se
street.
grle na ulici.
Prabhupada, it says a Shudra and a prostitute.
Kaže to se radilo o šudu i prostitutu.
And they were covered with vermilion paste.
Bili su prekriveni sa crvenom farbom.
And that means like perfume and decorations all over their bodies.
To znači da je to bila neka smjesa parfema i ukrasa na njihovom tijelu.
And when he saw that, he
Kada je
couldn't
vidio to, nije mogao
keep his mind off of the
da
prostitute.
potpuno skrene sa prostitutke.
Even though he was married to a first-class Brahminical wife.
Oženjen za prvoklasnu brahmansku ženu.
And eventually he took this prostitute in as his wife. He got rid of his other wife.
Riješio se svoje prve supruge.
Committed so many criminal activities in order to buy things for this prostitute.
Da bi kupio stvari za tu prostitutku.
Gave up all of his religious
Od
practices.
svih religijskih praksi.
Mistreated his father.
Pogrešno se odnosio prema svom ocu.
And then he had some children by the prostitute. And he was very old, like 80-something, 86 years old. And he was getting ready to die, to leave his body. But fortunately, because of what we call Yata Sukriti, he had named his son what? H.H.Bir Krishna said that's why he named his son Narayan. Although H.H.Bir Krishna has a very nice wife, he just doesn't want to take any chances. So anyway, the time of death, Ajamil was crying out, Narayan, Narayan, where are you, Narayan? I can't see you, Narayan. And so first the Yamadutas came. And then, because he was chanting the names of God, the Vishnu-dutas came and saved him from the Yamadutas. But interestingly enough, he didn't go back to Godhead at that point. Because he was only chanting on the platform of Namabhash, which is not Shuddha Nama. Devotees often ask that if I'm liberated by chanting Namabhash, does that mean I'm going back to Godhead? Also they say, because my parents are liberated because I'm a devotee, are they going back to Godhead? But there is a distinction between liberation and going back to Godhead. Liberation means freedom from all karma, past and present. And being given the opportunity to take up devotional service. But one actually has to cultivate bhakti to go back to Godhead. There's no free rides. It's not that if your son or disciple or your husband or your wife is a pure devotee, you can just sit and watch television. Doesn't work like that. You have to be the one to work on purification of your own heart. So after the point in the story, Ajamil went
A Džamila je otišao
and he went and performed austerities and became a pure
i
devotee.
radio strogosti i postao čisti bhakti, vratio se natrag.
The story of Ambarish and the
Ovo je
Rasamuni.
priča o Maharaja Ambarišu i Rasamuni.
Because just to tell the whole story, Ambarish Maharaj
Ambarish Maharaj
was performing the Vrata, the Ekadasi Vrata, when it came time to the Ekadasi,
došao na Dvadeši
to break the fast.
da prekine post.
At the same time, the
Istovremeno,
Rasamuni came to see him,
Rasamuni je došao da ga posjeti.
and the Rasamuni went to take his bath.
Rasamuni je otišao da se okupa.
So Ambarish Maharaj was
Ambarish
thinking,
Maharaj je razmišljao,
I have to break the fast,
moram da prekinem post.
but if I eat before the guest, it's a great offense.
Gost jede, da je to velika
So,
uvreda.
so instead he just took a little water to
Umjesto
break
toga
the
samo
fast.
popio malo vode.
The Rasamuni came back, saw that, created a demon from his hair.
to
kill Maharaj Ambarish. That demon was killed by Krishna's Sudarshan chakra,
Od strane Sudarshan čakre.
and that chakra chased
Ta čakra
the Rasamuni everywhere.
do Rasamunija svuda.
Even Krishna could not give
Čak
him
i
protection.
Krishna mu nije mogao dati zaštitu.
So finally the Rasamuni went back to the lotus feet of Maharaj Ambarish,
Maharaja Ambariša.
took shelter at the lotus feet of Maharaj Ambarish,
Maharaja Ambariša
and the chakra
i čakra
stopped burning.
je prestala da gori i da ga juri.
That's very nice.
To je jako lijepo.
Who else is here besides Sajjananda Maharaj?
They will come, Dhanir Maharaj,
Prahlada Maharaj.
Maharaj, Kalana,
Oh, I see.
next days.
Okay, so now we're going to give out, before we
Sada
end
ćemo da
today,
podijelimo prije nego što završimo za danas.
I'm going to give out the
Sada
scripts
ćemo da podijelimo scenarije
to groups that are going to be performing plays the last 3 days of the seminar.
U zadnje 3 dana seminara.
So you can meet
Tako da se
outside
možete okupiti napolju.
of this time and
Znači van ovog vremena.
practice. This is also going to be a
Možete
mind,
da vježbate ove igrokaze.
but I'm going to be speaking
Ali ja ću biti narator.
the parts as well as the narration.
Ja ću biti narator i ja ću objašnjavati uloge kao i naraciju.
So you don't have to remember the
Tako
words,
da ne morate pamtiti tekst.
just the actions.
Samo uradite akciju, znači glumu, rukama, tijelom.
Okay? So you have time to practice this,
Tako da
and
imat
I'm
ćete
afraid we'll
dovoljno
have time
vremena
to read and
da
translate.
to vježbate, a prevodilac će imati vremena da pročita i da prevede.
Okay, so let's keep the same groups, okay?
Znači, zadržat ćemo ove iste grupe.
Which group wants to do the
Koja
deliverance
grupa želi da
of Jaga and Mada?
igra oslobođenje Jaga i Madaja?
of same, all right, here,
Ista grupa.
you get that. You're responsible for the script.
Ti si odgovoran za scenariju.
Ne možeš ga govoriti, da ćeš stati.
Which group wants to
Koja
do
grupa želi
the story of the deities of Gora Das Pandit? Who wants to do Magrari the Hunter?
raditi priču o lovcu Mrigariju?
Yeah. And, all right, here's a good one. Which group wants to do Liquid Beauty?
Tečnu ljepotu.
What?
I to bi bilo
The men was Which group, this is a short one, which group,
Ovo je kratka. Koja grupa želi?
which group wants to
Koja
become,
grupa želi
wants to do, become a mouse
da
again?
postane biš opet?
This is a very small one.
To je kratka priča. Ponovo postane
It's only
biš.
2 pages. So
Samo
it
dvije
should be a,
stranice.
now you're expert.
Ne, ti si
You can do a long one.
Ti ćeš raditi dužu.
Okay, who wants to do
Dobro. Ko
The story
želi
of-
da radi
Dhruva Maharaj?
priču o drugom Maharaju?
Dhruva Maharaj? Okay. And let's see, we got 2 more.
Imamo još dvije.
How about the story of Bilvamangal Thakur?
Na priču o Bilvamangal Thakuru.
Your group will be good for that.
Dva će grupa biti dobro za to.
And one more,
I još jedna.
the story of Amoga.
Priča o Amogi.
Amoga is the son-in-law
Amoga je
of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya.
zet Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya.
So the soonest, wait, no talking now, please.
Molim vas, nemojte sada pričati.
The soonest we be doing this play,
Što prije uradimo ove igrokaze,
the soonest we be doing this play is the day after tomorrow. And we'll probably do the short plays first.
preko sutra, najradije ćemo raditi preko sutra igrokaze i to prvo ćemo raditi kratke igrokaze.
Tomorrow is philosophical day.
Sutra je filozofski dan.
We're going to be acting out
Mi ćemo
different aspects of the philosophy
različite aspekte filozofije.
in mime format, like I mentioned at the beginning of the class.
Kao što sam rekla na početku seminara.
Whether it's
Bilo
reincarnation,
da je to reinkarnacija,
or
ili
karma,
karma,
or the modes of nature,
ili bune prirode,
or the divine and demoniac natures.
božanske i demonske prirode.
That's going to be mime,
To
but
će
it's not going to be a secret thing. It's going to be, we're going to mention first what it is, but it's going to be all
koja je
spontaneous.
to tema, pa ćemo raditi pantomimu, ali će sve biti spontano.
Okay?
Dobro.
Any questions about
Imate li
that?
nekih pitanja u vezi toga?
So you have at least
Tako da imate
2
barem
days to practice.
dva dana da se pripremite za ove igrokaze.
All right, let me explain what each story is first,
O čemu se radi u svakoj priči.
and then we can break for the day.
I onda možemo prestati za danas, zaustaviti se.
Again, Become a Mouse is a story of a mouse
Postane miš je priča o mišu.
that was harassed by
je
a cat. The mouse later on became a cat
Kasnije postao mačka,
by the benediction of a sage.
zbog blagoslova mudraca.
Then a cat was harassed by a dog.
Je mačku uznemravao pas.
The mouse became a dog.
I miš je postao pas.
Dog was harassed by a tiger.
Psa je uznemravao tigar.
The mouse became
Miš je
a
postao
tiger.
tigar.
And then the tiger tried to eat the sage who was giving him all the benedictions. And then he was told again to become a mouse. So that means that if we bite the hand that feeds us, we become overly proud and think we're better than our spiritual preceptors or other devotees. Then we actually revert to our previous situation. Okay, and Amoga, I'm not going to tell the story, that's the story of the son-in-law of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya who offended Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Dhruva Maharaj, I think you all know that story. Bilvamandal Thakur's story is a long story in which Bilvamandal Thakur, who is attached to a prostitute named Chintamani, gets instructions from Chintamani and surrenders to Krishna. Liquid Beauty is about a prince who is very attached to the ephemeral, that means temporary, beauty and attractiveness of these bodies. And he gets to see the real nature of the bodies after a while. By the mercy of the beautiful girl. Actually, I have another play here. Mugrari the Hunter is the one who gets the mercy of Narada Muni. Let's see, oh, we got 2 other plays. The deities of Goridas Pandit are the deities that were made directly in the image of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that later jumped off the altar to serve or to be with Goridas Pandit's disciple, Hridaya Chaitanya. Jagai Mala, you already know. Do we have anyone else? I have 2 more plays. Any other groups here that you would like? No? No, so if we have more time at the end, we can do more plays. So, any questions? So we expect to have a lot of fun over the next few days doing
Očekujemo
Krishna
da ćemo
conscious.
se dosta zabaviti
dramatic
narednih
activities.
dana jer ćemo raditi dosta dramskih aktivnosti u svjesnosti Krišne.
Questions, comments?
Ima li pitanja ili komentara?
Everyone's so quiet.
Svi ste svi tako tihi.
Can you explain the last play, the one that you played?
Možeš li objasniti
Oh,
zadnji
oh, okay.
dokaz u kojem si ti...
Okay, Bart Maharaj played. Yeah, I'm sorry to
Bharat
explain.
Maharaj, da, oprosti, nisam objasnio.
So Bart Maharaj
Bharat Maharaj
used to be King Bart.
je bio kralj Bharata.
And it is actually after him that this planet is called Bharatvarsha.
Njemu se ova planeta zove Bharatvarsha.
So what happened is that
Ono što
he
se desilo jeste da
renounced everything.
je on je sve odbacio.
He had a kingdom that was practically speaking immeasurable.
Govoreći bilo nemjerljivo.
And wonderful family.
Prekrasnu porodicu.
But it's described he gave it all up to become Krishna conscious.
Sve odbacio da bi postao svjestan Krišne.
Like one gives up what?
Kao
Does
što
anyone know the
osoba
example?
odbacuje šta? Da li neko zna koji je to
I can't even say it because I'm a sannyasi.
Ja to ne mogu ni reći zato što sam se naučila.
One gives up the latrine. That's a nice word.
Kao što osoba odbacuje toalet.
And so I'm not advising that. If one has a Krishna conscious family,
Ne
don't give it up.
savjetujem vam to, ako osoba ima
Don't think
porodicu
of it,
svjesnog Krišne,
even in dreams.
nemojte o tome ni pomišljati ni snovi.
I'm turning to Narayan.
So Bharat Maharaj, he went to the forest, he was meditating, chanting his japa, and then he saw a female deer that was scared by a tiger. The female deer gave birth to a baby deer. And then he adopted that baby deer. And he was so affectionate to the baby deer. Just like sometimes people have pets, right? Do any of you have pets? Yeah. And you have a dog and a cat, right? So when he was supposed to be meditating on Krishna, chanting his Gayatri mantra, he was actually meditating on the deer, or petting the deer, or cuddling the deer. And in this way, he actually wasn't conscious of Krishna, he was conscious of deer. So one day, the deer disappeared, and he was looking for the deer. And as he was looking for the deer, somehow or other he fell down and died. And as Krishna says in the Gita, Yam yam vapi smaran vavan yajate ante kalevram tam tam evaiti kontiya siratad bhava bhavata. Whatever you're thinking of at the time of death, that's what you become. And so naturally he became a little baby deer. That's why we have to be careful what we're thinking of. Because death can occur at any time. It's like I received a phone call about 2 days ago. There was a nice devotee, he was walking down the street, crossing the street, and he had a sudden heart attack. And for 20 minutes there was no breathing. And so they took him to the hospital, and they kept him alive with the respirator, you know what a respirator is? Artificial stuff. So his son, who's also a devotee, wrote to me, what should we do? And I said, pull the plug. Because let him die a natural death, but at that time you'll be able to know when he's going to die, so you can have him surrounded by the devotees chanting Hare Krishna. We do not believe in euthanasia, but we do not believe in keeping someone artificially alive. So we made that decision. So hopefully he'll be thinking of Krishna because the devotees will be surrounding him. Anyway, so John Bharat, he thought of the deer, became a deer, but he wasn't an ordinary deer. he would go up to the devotees as they were having the Bhagavatam class and listen to the Bhagavatam class. And he avoided all the other deer. He was the first brahmachari deer. The saffron-colored deer. Anyway, so he left his life at that body, the deer body. He took birth in a Brahminical family. But he acted completely stupid. When his father taught him how to clean, after going to the toilet, he cleaned before but not afterwards. He couldn't figure out how to say his Gayatri mantra, hold the thread like that. There are many instances where he was put out in the field as a scarecrow to scare the birds away. He was finally taken by dacoits who were going to offer him to Bhadrakali. And when they got ready to offer him to Bhadrakali, because he was a great devotee, the deity split. And out of the deity came Bhadrakali and Bhadrakali's associates. And they cut the heads of the dacoits off. And they were drinking, tipping the bodies over. And drinking the blood of the dacoits. So eventually, he was employed as a palanquin carrier for Maharaj Rahuganath. And because he was such a great devotee, when he was carrying the palanquin, he wouldn't step on the ants. So he was bouncing all over the place. And the king just got very angry. What kind of idiot are you? And he explained, basically, I'm not this body, I'm not an idiot. The person who thinks he is the body, you, king, are the idiot. And then his ultimate explanation was, Rahuganai tat tapasana yatina cheshya nirvapanad grahadva nachandasa naiva jalagni suyara vana mahapadavajobhishekam. He said, if you really want to become Krishna conscious, you can't do it by austerities. You can't do it by becoming a sannyasi. You can't do it by becoming a grahasta. But only by taking the dust of the Lord's feet, of the pure devotees on earth. So that was his final instruction. That's the story. Okay. Any other questions? Yeah.
There are too many characters in one drama. Can we just play with too many characters?
Invite more friends to join you. Yeah, her question was if there's too many people, more than their group, you grab people who are not in the seminar and force them to come. They have to come. It's a great offense against you. So, I'm just joking. So just find a way to fill out.
Čini se da ima jedno objašnjenje Šrila Višnavata Čakravati Thakura u vezi sa tim zašto se božanstvo raspuklo u prisustvu Radhavana.
I think there is one explanation of Srila Krishna Goswami Thakur of why the deity broke apart at that moment.
Zašto se božanstvo raspuklo i zašto je pogubljen Kali?
Why did the deity fall apart? Why did Bhadrakali herself step outside of the deity?
Because Bhadrakali is Vaishnava, she's a pure devotee of Krishna. And she doesn't want to see Krishna's devotees hurt or offended. Now there might be another explanation by Vishwanath Chakravarti. Do you want to share that with us?
baš siguran, ali čini mi se
I'm not quite sure, but
da je on objasnio da je Žada Bharat bio toliko
Jada Bharata
moćna osoba da se jednostavno
was
božanstvo
that
zbog
much
toga
powerful
rasprostalo.
that the deity broke apart simply because of his power.
Well, his power was his devotion.
Njegova moć je bila upravo njegova devocija.
That is the power of the pure devotee.
To je moć čiste bhakti.
Okay?
Dobro.
So any other questions or
Ima još
comments?
nekih pitanja ili komentara?
No? All right, we'll see everybody tomorrow
Vidimo se sutra svi
at 11 o'clock.
u 11 sati.
All glories to His divine grace and Prabhupada, and Prabhupada ki jai.
Govind Govind Radhe 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 Govind Govind Radhe Radhe Radhe